Imagine waking up one morning to find your car sealed in ice, frozen solid to the ground, like the earth itself decided you weren't going anywhere. Now imagine you're the one who caused it. This is the story of how one neighbor's arrogance, bullying, and nonstop harassment finally met a cold, poetic justice. If you've ever had that one neighbor who made your life miserable, the loud one, the rude one, the one who thinks they own the whole block, hit that like button. Because today's story isn't just about revenge. It's about standing up, even when you can't fight back directly. The calm before Chad when I first rented that townhouse. It felt like a new beginning. Fresh job, good paycheck, nice neighborhood. My girlfriend and I thought we'd finally found peace. A quiet little street where people smiled, mowed lawns, and minded their own business. But peace didn't last long. Next door lived a man named Chad, mid-30s, stocky, angry, with the kind of confidence that only comes from years of nobody calling you out. His head was shaved close, like he wanted to hide that he was losing the war against his hairline. And his pride? Two things: a massive lifted pickup truck that looked like it was compensating for something, and a modified Honda Civic that sounded like an angry mosquito at 3 a.m. He was the kind of guy who sat in his driveway all day with a beer, surrounded by his buddies, the type who thought being loud was a personality. At first, he seemed fine, friendly, even. When the movers came, he actually offered to move his cars to make room. But that friendliness came with strings attached. Scene 2. The garage scheme. A few hours later, Chad wandered over again, beer in hand. "Hey man, just so you know," he said, "the last tenants let me use their garage in the winter. My truck doesn't fit in mine." It was such an odd statement, like he wasn't asking, just letting me know how things were going to be. I told him the landlord hadn't given me the garage key or code yet, so I couldn't open it anyway. Chad just nodded, half smiling. "Yeah, weird. My code doesn't work anymore either." Later that night, I mentioned it to my landlord on the phone, just casual conversation. His tone changed immediately. "Whatever you do," he said, "don't give Chad access to your garage." He told me the previous tenants had been robbed just after Christmas. No evidence, but every suspicion pointed next door. Locks and codes were changed. That's when I realized Chad wasn't just annoying. He was dangerous. Scene 3. From friendly to hostile. When Chad finally realized I wasn't giving up that garage, something inside him flipped. He stopped pretending. Suddenly, I'd find beer cans scattered across my lawn. He'd park his massive truck blocking my driveway, sometimes overnight. When my girlfriend walked outside alone, he and his friends would whistle and call out disgusting things. I tried everything. I called the city. I reported him to the HOA. Nothing. Apparently, Chad's dad had been a cop, and the local police still treated him like he wore the badge himself. I remember one day stepping out to get the mail. He smirked and said, "You think you're better than me 'cause you got that garage, huh?" I ignored him, but inside, I was shaking, not from fear, but rage I couldn't show. Every day, it felt like living next to a storm you couldn't escape. Scene 4. Breaking point. Then winter came. The kind of winter that freezes your breath in the air and makes the whole world creak. Chad's life got harder. He wasn't allowed to park on the street anymore, and the visitor lot wouldn't let him keep his giant truck there either. So he started blaming me for everything. When some kids vandalized his precious Civic, slashing the car cover, scratching the paint, he showed up pounding on my door. "You think this is funny, huh?" He was red-faced, shaking. His friends had to pull him back. Then came Christmas. One morning, I stepped outside and saw my decorations smashed, torn. The wires from the lights scattered like guts on the snow. That was it. Something in me clicked. I wasn't going to yell or fight or call the cops again. I was going to make sure Chad learned that winter could bite back. Scene 5. The revenge. That night, I waited. Midnight. The world was still. The air stung my lungs when I stepped outside. Chad's Civic sat proudly in his driveway, still shining under its fresh coat of wax. The same car he'd revved every night just to annoy me. I uncoiled my garden hose, turned on the water, and began my masterpiece. Every half hour, from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., I sprayed that car, slow, even passes. Water glistened, froze, layered. By morning, it was encased. A sculpture of arrogance, sealed in ice. When the sun rose, the whole neighborhood heard him. "What the? Who did this?" He shouted, kicked, and screamed. The car didn't even budge. It was fused to the driveway, locked by nature itself. The police came. The fire department came. They looked, shrugged, and left. No crime. They said, just bad luck. Chad tried everything. Hammers, boiling water, even a sawzall. One of his friends actually sliced into the tire and fender trying to cut it loose. Every clang, every curse, every moment of frustration. I watched from behind my curtain, sipping coffee, feeling the kind of satisfaction you can't buy. By the time the ice finally loosened, the car was wrecked, cracked paint, ruined tires, broken windshield. The beast had been tamed. Scene 6. Karma's encore that spring, my job contract ended. I moved out, free at last. But the story didn't end there. A few months ago, my old landlord called. Hey, he said, half laughing. You remember Chad? Of course I did. He and his buddies got arrested. Tried to rob a convenience store right after Christmas. I just smiled. Poetic. The same season he destroyed my Christmas decorations, now it destroyed him. Sometimes karma doesn't come fast. It doesn't shout. It just waits, quietly, until the ice is thick enough to hold. And when it does, the sound of justice cracking is the sweetest sound in the world. If this story made you smile, or gave you that little spark of satisfaction we all crave, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the worst neighbor you've ever had, and how did you really want to deal with them? Because sometimes, revenge doesn't need fire. Sometimes, it just needs water and a little patience.